As we are getting into our next game and spawning in the top right hand corner of Torches, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Go. Catching in with the chat. How come we barely saw any Serral games for DreamHack? Because Serral didn't have many games at DreamHack. I say that if you recall, I did mention that we weren't able to cover Serral versus Solar. That was the one best of 5 that Serral had in the group stage, or sorry, in the bracket stage. But yeah, he only had the one quarterfinals match. Like there just weren't many games. Like, but here we go. As we are moving out, welcome to Torches. Torches is, of course, one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. Much more aggressive. As hello, Rogue, as he does early on mine through these gold minerals. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't seen a lot of ZvT on Torches. This is one of the most vetoed maps in the map pool, so this is a rare sight to me. So I'm curious. I'm excited. We're going gasless. Okay, gasless opener. This does make the most sense. If you remember, if you were here for El Dorado, for the previous map pool, gasless openers were a lot more common. A lot more common here on El Dorado. Likewise, Torches makes the most sense as well. For those that are curious, what a gasless opener entails, it's just really greedy. Really greedy. It does give you a boosted economy. It does give you a leg up here coming into this ZvT. The downside, no gases, means no link speed. There is no link speed. So because of that, Hellions can punish you. But specifically on this map, how do you punish this third base? How do you do it? ByuN would have to mine through the minerals himself. He would have to mine through the minerals, and that takes a lot of time as well. You can see that Rogue actually has the Overlord to make sure that doesn't happen, or to keep an eye on that sort of thing. So because of that, this third base is very safe. It's very safe. It means that you can get away with specifically securing this ramp to get away with a greedier build. So this is quite risky on other maps, but specifically on Torches, you can get away with it. Just like on El Dorado. Just like on El Dorado. Hellion moves out. And again, Rogi just has to be concerned with defending the ramp. Meanwhile, that's a 1-1-1. Oh boy. Now, we spoke about Torches being a map that is often vetoed. The reason for this, the rush distance by air is very short on this map, and this is hyper aggressive out of ByuN, going for a 1-1-1 into an early drop, into an early move out. No third TC. Meanwhile, Roach opener out of Rogue, that makes sense, or this is standard. What I should say, when you open up gasless, because your gases are so late, it's not worth getting link speed. At this point, it's too late. It's too late to get link speed, so you just skip link speed entirely and go into Roaches as an opener. Likewise, Eva Chamber as well, we're fully walling up this ramp to make sure we're safe against Hellions, but it's not about the Hellions, it's about the drop, it's about the initial push. Here we go, medevac towards the right hand side, Hellions towards the left, and a Liberator to reinforce as well. So ByuN is doubling down. We go. As ByuN does boost in. He's heading to the main. Heading to the main to get a couple of workers. And so far, Rogi's keeping up. So far, so good. You can see the Hellions, they tried to go in, but there's a full wall here at the ramp, so the Hellions are denied. Oh. Hellions are denied. But yes, we do plan on having like the replay pack was released for DreamHack Dallas, so we do plan on catching up with the best of 5 between Cyril and Solar. That would be a lot of fun. But that'll be probably next week. We'll find some time to catch up on some of those otherwise missed matches. But yeah, there's just weren't many matches played. In behind this, Rogue is taking up. So from the initial Roach base opener, and he even's making use of this wall as well, we're going to be expanding towards ByuN, going for the goal base. Really unique setup here from Rogue, and ByuN so far unable to punish, and ByuN is falling behind. Remember, no threat. This is Jesus. ByuN, because of the opener, he's throwing this into a 2-base all-in. Okay, this I can get behind. Now, Rogue is being greedy. He's running up quite heavily. I mean, the opener was greedy as well. Now expanding forward, taking the goal base, taking up in towards the infestation bit. I believe this should be Roaches. Oh, I was going to say Roaches into a fast hive, but no, Roaches into swarm host, which is also something we saw here on El Dorado. Because of the terrain, you can go swarm host and Locust Wave straight into the main, but ByuN is going for a 2-base all-in. I am concerned for Rogue here. Upgrade's going to be denied. As let's focus on the first Evo chamber. +1 is denied. Gets carapace. Gets +1 range as well. Yeah, massive pickups. 0 upgrades here for Rogue. Rogue is stuck on 0-0. And waiting for ByuN to break out. And again, these almost have potential in a longer game, but here against an all-in, the problem here is that this is going to be dead supply. If we waste a Locust Wave going into the main base, that means there's nothing to defend. Oh boy. He doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know. Locust Wave goes into the main, here comes the all-in. And Rogue has nothing. Like, this is the army. A handful of Roaches. The Swarm Host, a dead supply. ByuN just stimming in, and he can just ignore the base. He can just keep going, and he should. Yeah, he should just run. He should just run past. Just run past the base. Yeah, he does just ignore it. I mean, he kills it in the process. I'll take down the first Liberator, now pushing into the third. If the stage bit goes down, upgrades are never going to finish, and Rogue is caught with his pants down. He's supply blocked as well. Rogue can't make anything. Heavy supply block. 4th base goes down, 3rd base goes down, and Rogue, he's stuck on 2 bases again. Rogue just too greedy here. He didn't know that it was a 2-base all-in. So Rogue, he was just caught off guard. Didn't realize what was happening. Just like in GSL. Just non-stop all-ins against Rogue. Locust Wave, trades with the army at least. Likewise, 1 tank goes down. And from here, ByuN could just expand. He can just back off and expand. As we keep an eye on that CC. ByuN pulls away. Clears up all the creep. Now, pushing past this choke point is going to be difficult here against Roach Ravager. Like, biles are going to be insane in this choke point. So ByuN rotates. Just rotates over. And again, ByuN's win condition at this point can just be to deny the third. Deny the 3rd base, contain a Rogue on 2 bases. Now he sims in, takes the fight. Biles, they do graze the army. But he just sims and wins. Yeah, he just sims on in. The Roach Ravager cannot trade head on. Not like this, not against Mass Marine Marauder. And the army just crumbles. There's 3 Roaches left, down to 2, down to 1. 1 Roach remaining. And GG gets called. Rogue is overwhelmed, and ByuN will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. ByuN does take a lead in the series. Again, very greedy play out of Rogue, and I did like it initially to go into a gases opener. It's fine. I feel like going into a gases opener on Tokamak, sorry, on torches, but unfortunately he took it a step further, rushed into a 4th base and went into Swarm Host. And in a macro game on the problem is that torches isn't El Dorado. that's the problem here. There are some similar features, that is true, but the biggest one that's different is that it is a much smaller map. El Dorado is like twice the size as torches. Well, maybe not twice, maybe like a 1/3 extra size of torches. The rush distance by ground is longer. Here it's shorter, it's smaller, it's so much more difficult to get away with this kind of greed, and ByuN did punish by just doubling down and committing into a 2-base all-in. This is also partly on Rogue, because Rogue never scouted. He didn't realize how much danger he was in. Otherwise, if he had realized, he probably would have calmed down, focused on building up his army instead, gotten into Infestors instead of Swarm Host, and would have had a cleaner defense or a much more competitive defense instead. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. The pants were down, Pappy. The pants were down. And that leads us into game number 2. It leads us here into Tokamak. Let's go. Let us go. Do you all know? I mean, again, look, what are we vetoing in a, like, we have a best of 3, we're not vetoing torches. Like, bro, he's crazy, and here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the right hand corner here of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Here we go. So we are opening up. And welcome on to Tokamak. Tokamak, I would say, is a better map for Rogue when it comes to building up and getting into a longer game state and macroing up as well. I did mention previously that Rogue, his biggest strengths, where they lie in the mid to late game. If he can get into lurkers, if he can get maxed out, then Rogue, he can thrive, and he can take it to the best Terran player in the world. He can take it to Clem even as well. Can take it to all of them. Only if he can get there, though. That's a thing. And that is where the map is going to be assisting Rogue. It is more difficult to go for all-ins on Tokamak. I say that. It is more difficult, not impossible. We could still see ByuN double down. I don't see ByuN going for another 2-base all-in. That's something specific for torches. 100%. Specific for torches. But as we load into Tokamak, 3-base all-ins, 8 Raxes, that is still viable. That is still viable here. Is still very much so an option. So our eyes are on ByuN. Otherwise, we could see mech again. We could. As ByuN did go mass cyclone against Rogue previously. Oh boy. I don't think this would be the worst map for it either, to be honest. Okay. We'll see. So now standard opener. Hatchcast pool, we're joining up. We do have our 3rd base on the way for Rogue. Likewise, ByuN going for, ooh, that is a 1-1-1. Okay. Now, I was all for this last game. Like, on Torches, it makes sense. Torches, you know, it's a small map, you know, double down, send it, 2-base all in, that's fine. Here on Torches, this is a bold move out of ByuN. It is a bold move, especially after he went for this opener last game as well. So the chances of him being scouted is a lot higher. The chances of Rogue being ready for something like this is a lot higher as well. But this is where mind games come into play. Rogue, you might be thinking, oh, okay, we're loading into Tokamak, you know, you just all in me in game 1. You're gonna do that again in game 2? No shot. No shot. You're gonna be aggressive on Tokamak 2 games in a row. Well, he is. This is the problem. Now, I say aggressive. This doesn't have to be a 2-base all-in, but this is very aggressive because there's no third TC. This is the same opener that we saw last game. Going for a Marine drop with Hellion support. Lings, they do scout. They don't really get much information though. They do see, actually they see all the Marines. That is reactor Marine production, of course. So that is a tell. Hellions move out. Rogue back at home. Is making Lings, thankfully. Cloak Banshee on the way, going for the add-on swap. Overlord being hunted down. And this is a tell. This is a tell. There should not be a medevac at this time. So early medevac, now Rogue knows. He's now aware of the 111. And we're going for a Hellbat push. Oh boy. So Banshee Hellbat push here for ByuN. It's going to be quite committed. Rogue, he's somewhat aware of what's going on. Remember, he's aware of the 111 at least. He knows about the early starport. He knows about the late expansion. But he doesn't know how late. He doesn't know how committed this is. As Hellions are amassing. Is going to be 6, soon to be 8 Hellions. So 8 Hellions, bunch of Marines. Medevac will be there to support the Hellbats as well. It's going to be that Cloak Banshee support to defend against this. There's no Roaches, no Baneliness. It's purely Ling Queen. And there's not that many Lings, and there's not that many Queens either. And here we go. Here comes the morph. Hellbat take transform. Now moving in. He's chasing down the Queens. They do pull away in time. One Queen is going to go down. Nice transfuse though. Yeah, nice transfuse. Lings are coming for the surround. One Queen falls, takes down all the Lings. And how many Queens does he get? He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. 3 Queens. He's going to get up to 4. 4 Queens go down, and Rogue holds. Rogue, he does hold on. Does cost him 4 Queens. Does cost him a bunch of Lings. 5 drones as well. Oh, the Banshees. Oh, no, the Queens. The Queens were distracted, and the Banshees are popping off. Drones are falling left and right. 8 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. The 1-2 punch. Marines, they keep rallying in, and Rogue's being torn apart. Not like this. 10 drone kills. The Queens, remember, there's no transfuse, and he gets another Queen. He gets almost every Queen. Just every Queen goes down. That was how many? That was 6 Queen kills. And he won 7. As the Banshees are still catching reinforcements, still catching more Lings. The value here is insane. And this was well worth it for ByuN. Well worth it here. As he's still getting more damage. 13 drones. And 6 Queens. Behind this, ByuN is expanding. Third TC is on the way. It's late, but it's still there. And ByuN takes a lead. At this point, ByuN, he is in a better position. Now, I say a better position. Rogue has a couple of options available here as he's... Oh, God. He does lose 2 more drones. Rogue, he's getting his lair and he's beating out more workers. But he's going for a Roach Warren. And with this, we might double down and commit into a Roach-based all-in. We have to make a choice here. Either try to re-drone, try to resaturate and turtle, or just stop droning, double down, and go for an all-in. It's one or the other. For the time being, Rogue, he does re-drone on 3 bases. But does he saturate the 4th? That's the question. Does he make any more drones from here? Infestation bits. Bailey Nest. It's probably going to drone. He's taking up. The pit should be for melee. I mean, he already has melee as an upgrade, so it's going to be for Lingbane Roach Ravager. There we go. More drones are on the way. This is going to be for Hive Tech. So Rogue is going to try to build up into a longer macro game. But Rogue is vulnerable right now. And ByuN is pushing. He knows how vulnerable Rogue is. After the early game, Rogue, he's been re-droning. So the army is lacking. Lasting run by. Gets 2 SCVs. ByuN is pushing forward. Rogue has 9 roaches. Soon to be 15. That's a decent roach count. Nice miles. Gets a first tank. Tank goes down. Ooh, but he's fighting within range. The roaches are falling left and right. And oh god, he cannot take this fight. Not like this. Yeah, the roaches, they crumble. Reinforcements are trickling in, so Rogue will hold. But that was a brutal fight. That was how many? That was 9 roaches going down. Ay, ay, ay. Again, the roach count isn't high to begin with. ByuN pulls away. So far, he's on a 5-rack setup. He's on 3 bases. From here, yeah, to what he count them, papi. 8. We're 8-raxing, so it's going to be 3 base all in, 8 racks out of ByuN. But this does make sense. Like, typically, we spoke about this in the creator series on ByuN, if you remember, how after you get a bunch of damage done early on, it makes sense to just follow it up with a 3 base all in. And we did kind of criticize creator not doing that on ByuN against Solar. Here, ByuN, he is doubling down. He's just capitalizing on his lead. So he's going to end the game. We're going to straight up end the game. Rogue, meanwhile, is going for his Ultra Cabin, trying to make use of that hive. Now, I believe we can get some tech labs here for Marauder reinforcements. As I believe he's only making 1 Marauder at a time. Yep, there we go. Making tech labs. That's why ByuN takes the Gas Geyser here. It's for those Marauders. So this is an adaptation just because it's up against roaches. It's for Marauders instead. As the tanks are exposed. Nice melee connections. Oh my god, the splits are not there. Yeah, splits are not there. And so far, Rogue, he is holding. He shuts down the tanks. Nice fight here by Rogue. Very nice. Does hold, does defend. And again, ByuN did overextend, pushing onto creep. But waiting for the next wave. Waiting for the next step here. As tech labs are finishing up, Marauders are on the way. Gateway heavy Marine Marauder composition. We have a 4th CC. This tells us that ByuN doesn't believe that he can kill his opponents, but he's still being hyper aggressive. He's not taking him into ghosts. Still doubling down. Rogue now has 2 Vipers. ByuN is looking for a way in. Gets a Queen. He's on 3 tanks. Now pushing forward. This time paying attention. Does target down the Bailings. Yeah, better spread here from ByuN. Bailings are going for the Marines. Oh, can he connect? We get some okay connections. Oh, but not quite enough. More Bailings rolling in. They are going to be targeted down. And ByuN breaks through. Yeah, ByuN breaks through. Takes down the Ling Bane, takes down all the roaches. GG gets called. ByuN, he breaks Rogue, and ByuN will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A really rough start there for Rogue. Again, the Hellbat push did brutal damage. It wasn't necessarily the Hellbats, but it was the distraction that they caused, because even though the Marine Hellbat didn't get any economic damage, it was trading with the Queens, it was keeping the Queens busy, and at the same time, and what happened? The Cloak Banshee. Cloak Banshees, they hit the natural, they hit the 3rd base. It was the Cloak Banshees that killed 13 drones and extra Queens as well. It was 13 drones and 6 Queens that went down. That was brutal damage early on. And Rogue, he chose to drone. He chose to re-drone after that. He chose to try to macro out of that instead. Because of that, he was vulnerable to a 3 base all in to an 8 racks. ByuN committed to the 8 racks. Technically, ByuN, he did start a 4th CC, but he didn't need it. Didn't need the 4th base in the end. He just doubled down. He just committed. There was one nice fight for Rogue where he was able to catch ByuN on creep. There was a nice fight there for Rogue where he was able to punish him a little bit there and capitalize on that a little bit. But it was only really that fight. After that, ByuN was able to just reinforce, able to bring together more Marauders, have a better force against the roaches, against the Bailings, and GG. GG, well played with that. ByuN does advance on to the grand finals, and we have a best of 5 getting ready for us here. It's going to be a best of 5 between ByuN and Solar. Solar took down Creator, ByuN took down Rogue. So we have a best of 5 coming up after the short break. We're going to be going on a short break here, going to be taking a bit of time here to get ready, so take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, hydrate your Hydras, massage your Marines, and drain all of your disruptors. When we come back, we'll have that grand finals. See you soon. See you soon after the break.